Hello and welcome to the first ever episode of the Kissing Books Critique. I'm Vicki Hilton and with me I have Heather Ryder and Jenna McCall. Hello ladies.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay, so I thought we'd start off the podcast with a quick get to know you session for our listeners who may be wondering who we are and why we're here. We tend to meet online over the oceans. The girls are in the US and I'm in Australia, so time juggling is always a bit of an issue for us. But we seem to make it work. Okay, I will go ahead. My name is Vicki Hilton. I'm a contemporary rom-com author, originally from the UK, and as I say, now in Australia. I like a quirky female lead, and I love a strong and sensitive hero. And I like to write a happy ever after with a lot of giggles on the way. If I've made someone laugh or smile when they're reading one of my stories, then I've done my job. I write slow burn, pretty slow burn sometimes, but by the time you get to the spicy stuff, everyone's ready for it. Everyone's about to explode. So hopefully I make it worth people's while. I've been writing for a few years now, on and off, and only published earlier this year. So exciting. Who's going to go next? Jenna?
That would be me, yes. So I'm Jenna McCall. I've been writing for as long as I can remember. I also write contemporary romance. I guess I'm leaning into my rom-com roots. Also slow burn, leaning towards more hockey stories and small town. I really like the comfort and casualness of small town, so that's really calling to me. I have several books out now, more coming in as time goes on. And I am in the U.S., and I'm in Georgia in the South.
Hi, my name's Heather, and I am also a contemporary romance author. We all write contemporary romance, which makes it easy for me to work with these girls.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've always been a storyteller. I didn't get serious about writing until I read a book and I was like, I could do that better. And from there I started writing, and my debut novel will come out around the first of the year.
Woo, exciting.
Very nice. So I wanted to talk about some of our inspiration because I think that is pretty fun, and it kind of shows like where we're coming from and how we're going to critique, to be honest. This podcast is going to be all about critique. And so my contemporary influences are authors that focus a lot on like deep point of view, which we'll get into. We're not going to go into like definitions here. And so the authors that I found that really do it well are like Kate C. Wells or Sybil Bartell. So they influence me a lot in my writing. And who would you say influences you, Vicki?
Oh, that's really tricky. I think I think as we go through the critiques in the future, we'll note that I do tend to hark back to what I would consider my heyday of romance reading or contemporary romance reading, which is kind of in the 90s, which is terrible, but I love it. I still churn through old romance books. My favorite author of all time has always been Jilly Cooper. She was just so naughty and funny and always has an animal in her book, which I really enjoy too. She really inspired me, and I think that's reflected in my writing. Yeah, and I think just generally when there was a bit of a resurgence of rom-coms back in the 2000s again, yeah, I've always loved a giggle. So, I think I sort of gravitate toward those sorts of books.
You definitely do.
Yeah.
Or it shows in your writing.
Cool.
Heather, what about you?
I think my love of romance books started with Johanna Lindsey. That was my foray into romance, and Regency romance has a special place in my heart.
Absolutely. Ditto.
Love it.
Yeah.
For contemporary, because I do like contemporary as well, I really like Corinne Michaels. I think I'm saying that name correct. It's pretty hard for me to DNF a book. It has to be pretty bad for me to not read it.
I DNF all the time.
You are brutal.
I have no time for that. Yeah.
The biggest things I won't read is cheating.
Yeah.
If it gets too dark and it's like abuse, like labeled as a kink, that makes me not want to read it anymore. And then I think lowest on the list is love triangles. I don't love them, but I might be convinced.
Yeah. And I think that kind of segues us into like getting together, because when we were put together, we had no idea that our likes and dislikes would align so well.
Mm.
We got really lucky, I think. But we did come together via a Facebook group that routinely does, a couple times a year, I believe, does a call out for who wants to be in a critique group. And people will put their names in. And the administrator on the group, I think it's the administrator, she or they, I'm not sure actually, they will kind of parse everybody out into groups. And so you kind of get what you get.
It's random.
And it's totally random. And we just got really lucky about a year ago, right? We thought about this.
That's
Yeah, I
it.
think
Right? It was a year.
Been a
Been
year.
going a year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That group is the Romance Writers Club, just
Mhm.
in case anyone else is
Yep.
interested. But when we're critiquing and we know about one another and having critique with each other for a while, we have learned the different things. Like, I know Vicki is going to get really wacky and crazy, and her humor, and that's her style, and that influences how we're going to do our critique. And having that, I mean, we obviously, it's taken a year to get to this point, but even early on, we gradually learning that and having the interaction that we have, we know that that's what Vicki wants. She wants to have those wacky comic moments, that those are important to her. And conversely, Heather likes a lot of angst, and she likes to put, your heart in a vice and just see how much she can rip on it. And we know this about each other now.
Yeah.
So I'm not like either of those. I'm just nice to
No,
people.
but I think you, Jenna, I think I expect a story with a really strong, slightly on the grumpy side, but always on the sexy side, a male lead and a quirkier female lead.
Yeah.
As well. So,
I do like quirky, and I'm finding that each story as I'm going now is having some sort of mental health in it, which is a surprise to me, but I'm kind of liking it. So that's interesting.
So can you explain our process, Jenna, to everyone?
Oh, yes. So when we got together, we were very intentional, and I think I was the mean one that said, I would really like to do it like this. And I gratefully convinced y'all to agree with, to try it out, to just try it out. I think that's how we started. I said, can we try it this way? And you guys were awesome and said yes. What we do is we get together, we aim to get together twice a month, every other week. And we cut out about, I think it's usually around 4 hours on a Saturday. For us in the US, it's on a Saturday. And then for Vicki living in the future, it's on Sunday.
Oh, 6 a.m. Sunday morning. Yay!
She's given up her Sunday morning.
We just owe her lots of coffee. Pumpkin spice, because apparently that's in short supply in Australia. But we get together. And during our sessions, we exchange work ahead of time. We exchange a set amount of work. In our case, our top limit is 5,000 words. And one person that's not the author will then read that work aloud to the others, because we're together in a Discord call at that point. And then we talk about the writing as we're going. And I think this is a really important part of our process. And I think it's why I can recognize when Vicki is being wacky and when Heather is looking to add some emotion or angst to her stories, because we've talked about it so much, and hearing not just the words, not reading it on a page, because you miss so much when you just read silently. I think you miss a ton.
Yeah.
As an author, when you hear someone else read your work aloud, then you know when you miss the mark, because they're not reading it the way that you imagined it should have been read. So then you need to fix something, even if they haven't marked anything. You need to fix something.
Yeah.
Then you have all the things of like too long of sentences because you lose your breath and all these different things. But I think that the most important part is the bond that we have formed. And I'm rambling a little bit here, but I really feel like that's important.
Ramble away.
You'll find that's how Jenna is, but we love
do tend to ramble. I will warn everyone.
And I'm the worst.
We giggle, we snort. There's been a lot of snorting.
I don't snort. No, that would be someone
Jenna's
that's not
perfect.
me. Yeah. You got the memo. Yes. But that is important, because we can be either really, really excited for someone writing a really amazing scene that we can just celebrate how well they nailed something, be it her or something else. But we also can, when we get mean, when we know something is not working, or we feel something is not working and we have to talk about that, it can come across as really mean or divisive, or like you're picking on me, all these different things. We've all had bad critique experiences. That's why I think critique groups kind of sometimes have a bad reputation. So we know, though, because we're communicating face to face, if you will, in real time, not just comments on the side of a piece of paper or on the side of your monitor. We know how to take it. We don't have to guess how to take it. We can hear the tone in someone's voice.
Yeah.
I think that all makes a really big difference.
Too.
Yes, exactly.
We've got the friendship as well. From a personal stance, I do remember when we first started, I think I disappeared into the red centre of Australia for a couple of weeks, and these guys waited for me, which I will be eternally grateful for, because oh my goodness, I almost missed out. And by the time I got into got in contact, you guys had already been chatting and kind of knew each other. And then I joined, and my first critique session, I was terrified, particularly because I thought I'd written something really good. It came back with lots of comments, and I wasn't used to being critiqued like that. Beta readers obviously will give a critique on, say, if something's missing, or they make a suggestion. But I wasn't used to the level of critique that we go to in this session. And it took me maybe 2 different rounds to realize that it's not personal. And oh my goodness, my writing has improved because of it. And that's actually been commented on by a fellow author recently. They read something of mine, and they were like, I just couldn't believe it was the same writer. Because
congrats on that, Vicki.
That's incredible.
And I know it's down to you guys. Oh my goodness, should we have a hug over
Yes, hugs.
So I just think, awesome.
I almost think of this as like, I definitely have a bit of anxiety every time I turn something in. It hasn't stopped a year later. I'm like, I want these ladies to love what I write. I trust both of you more than anybody in the writer community, because I know that we've gone this far and we're all trying to build each other up.
Yeah.
And even if we kind of sound mean every once in a while, I almost think of it as like a sibling.
Yeah.
You can kind of beat up on each other.
Yeah.
If anybody else messes with them, we'll be there to stand up for them.
Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
I think you're right. And the anxiety of it, well, that's not maybe, or just the awareness of the fact that someone's going to be looking at your work very critically doesn't lessen. But I think just the way you approach your response to it, which is fantastic. If you're an author and you're going to get reviews, people are they don't know you. They are potentially going to have a lot to say.
Right.
Yeah.
And they could be really mean.
Yeah.
What was the one, that I had about a spoon? I mean, gag me, this basically. So yeah, people can be really mean. So it's a nice way to build up a little tolerance too.
Definitely.
But at least I think we know from one another that we are trying to help each other be better authors. To put a better product out in the world, the best story that we can do.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that if we submit something to be critiqued, the person we're submitting to, they're always going to find something. And so I think we also have to consider that, because I've been in other groups where it's just it's inconsistent feedback. Somebody will always find something to criticize if you ask them for a critique. And so the thing about sticking with this people that I know and trust, it's consistent, and I feel happy with the feedback. I feel like I can take it and it's genuine. It applies.
Right. Yeah, there's we don't half-ass anything. We do try to give the best that we can, because that's what we want back from one another. And I think when you don't have a consistent group and you don't have relationships, you just don't really know what you're getting, and you don't know what quality they know. And so often other critiques also focus on things that are just so, first of all, we're not entry level. We're past entry level. We're not going to get bogged down with, you have like 26 was's in this paragraph. That's a problem. Or, why are you using so many adverbs? We're not going to bother with that. I mean, if it pops out and it's there, we'll remind each other, but we'll be shocked that we're seeing it. But like, you're having a bad day this day, weren't you, Vicki? No, I'm kidding. But I'm the one that's most likely to be guilty. But as was demonstrated last weekend, when you have more of an anonymous, or you have like a less of a committed situation with critique, then you're really going to probably get a lot of stuff about commas and passive voice and adverbs and a lot of the basic and entry level, possibly I might call it entry level critique. And we're just not there. And I say this because critique is poo-pooed by a lot of people. And I think that if you get in the right situation, I guess that's why I wanted to bring it up, is because if you get in the right situation with critique, it advances your writing so much. I just really feel like it does. If you're the one that's getting the feedback, yes, you get a lot of anxiety and you want to have a perfect project, but it's really cool to get all the wonderful things too. And just the knowledge that someone's reading you, that's exciting too. So,
and getting suggestions and thoughts on what you could do differently or what you could add to even, improve things even further. That's so useful.
And when you stick,
like a fresh.
I hinted at, like, we know each other's voice. I think we're really good about not screwing around with somebody's voice. Like certain people write a certain way, and that's something that you're not going to get if you have, just a fly-by-night critique, like, yo, will you critique this for me? And it just doesn't.
And then you never talk to them again.
Yeah, and so, that.
Okay, all of those things.
I just went to an author conference and I heard an author talking about just how she had a reader who offered to read her book before she put it out, and they came back with great suggestions. And I was like, that's a critique. And it just surprised me that maybe other authors in the author community maybe don't know that it's an option and it's a free option. Like, you don't need to pay for it. And maybe that's something we can help you with today. Like, just take what we're saying about each other and apply it to your own work, find something, educational, useful, help you in the steps to get your own book published.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the goal. That's the goal of our Kissing Books critique.
Yeah. Such a nice name. Who came up with the name? I can't even remember now. It was so
I'm pretty sure that was you, Vicki.
No, I don't think it was.
I think we all threw suggestions around, and then
I feel like we all had the same.
Yeah.
Rust,
we went through quite a bit, and everybody was like, no.
Yeah.
And this is what we agreed on.
Yeah.
And it's so
some of
cute.
them I was worried. I remember we had some names I was worried that would attract the wrong sort of listeners.
Yes.
They were,
because we all do write spicy,
naughty,
lovey, open door scenes.
Definitely.
Yeah, and those will be in critique as much as everything else. So
That's true. That's true. I'm very fond myself of a sex scene critique, as you know. I have very high standards.
Extra giggles.
I'm looking forward to the one that you did so well last night.
Yes. Yes, I was writing into the wee small hours, a rather satisfying scene in a kitchen. Anywho, let's skim over that. So I think you could probably tell from this little intro that the love is there. We enjoy each other's company. We enjoy each other's critiques, strangely. And we've all found something amazing that's come out of this. So we wanted to share the love. So if you want to join the train, come and subscribe to our podcast. Subscribe. And then also come and follow us on Facebook. We have a page, Kissing Books Critique. We would love to see you there. And just give us a general shout out. We're always around. And look forward to it. Oh, and I can definitely promise lots of laughs and a few animal appearances. We have pets between us. They definitely show up.
Definitely.
Yes.
Awesome.
All of us have Facebook as well. If you want to follow us, it's our names that we're in.
Yes, that's true. Oh, that's better to do general shout outs. We've got Vicki Hilton, Heather Ryder, Jenna McCall.
Mine's Jenna McCall Writes, because Jenna McCall was taken, the evil wench. But Jenna McCall Writes.
I think if you search Jenna McCall, you'll come up though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think I'm
you're
Vicki
dominating
Hilton,
there.
Power. Okay.
Awesome, ladies. Well, I look forward to our first critique session very
2
shortly.
weeks. Yeah. You got it.
Yay.
See you soon.
So excited.
Yay.
Bye.
Welcome.